Hi, I'm Vivian. I loves to travel and explore new places. Recently, I decided to go on a solo trip to Japan. I had always wanted to see the beautiful temples, gardens, and bustling streets of Kyoto and Osaka, so I packed my bags, booked my flights, and set off on what turned out to be an unforgettable adventure. I'm so excited to share my experience with you. Japan is full of surprises, and I hope my story will make you want to visit these amazing cities too. My journey started in Kyoto, a city known for its beautiful old temples, quiet gardens, and traditional tea houses. As soon as I arrived, I felt a calmness that was different from any place I had been before. Kyoto felt like a place where time moves a little slower, and people are more in touch with nature. I stayed in a small, traditional Japanese inn called a ryokan. It had tatami mat floors and sliding paper doors. My room was simple but cozy, with a futon bed and a view of a small garden. I felt like I had stepped back in time. After settling in, I couldn't wait to start exploring, so I headed straight to my first stop, Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion. The Golden Pavilion is one of Kyoto's most famous temples. The top 2 floors of the temple are covered in gold leaf, and it shines so brightly under the sun. I walked around the beautiful garden surrounding the temple and took many photos of the pavilion reflecting perfectly in the calm pond. I even tried to feed some koi fish in the pond, but they were too fast for me. I met a friendly couple from Australia who were also traveling in Japan. We exchanged stories about our trips and took photos of each other with the temple in the background. It was a great way to start my adventure. Next, I made my way to the Fushimi Inari Shrine, famous for its thousands of red torii gates. The torii gates form a long tunnel up the mountain, and walking through them felt like entering a magical world. The path seemed endless, with red gates as far as the eye could see. As I walked, I saw many small stone fox statues. Foxes are considered messengers of the gods in Japanese culture. I climbed higher and higher, passing other visitors and even some locals who were jogging up the path. It was tiring, but the view from the top was worth every step. I could see all of Kyoto, and the fresh mountain air felt so good. That night, I had dinner at a small restaurant near my ryokan. I tried yuttafu, a traditional Kyoto dish made with tofu in a hot pot. It was warm, soft, and delicious, perfect after a long day of walking. I went back to my room, took a relaxing bath in the ryokan's hot spring bath, and went to bed early, excited for the next day's adventures. The next day, I woke up early and decided to visit the Arashiyama bamboo grove. This is a famous bamboo forest where tall bamboo trees grow very close together, creating a tunnel of green. As I walked through the bamboo grove, I felt very small because the bamboo trees were so tall and slender, reaching up to the sky. The sound of the bamboo leaves rustling in the wind was like music, and the light filtering through the leaves created a magical atmosphere. I took many photos, but none of them captured how beautiful it was to be there in person. After the bamboo grove, I visited the nearby Tenryuji Temple. This temple has one of the most beautiful gardens I've ever seen, with a large pond, rocks, and perfectly manicured trees. I walked around the garden slowly, enjoying the peacefulness and watching the colorful koi fish swimming in the pond. I learned that this garden has been around for more than 700 years and was designed to represent the harmony between heaven and earth. It was a very calming and inspiring place. For lunch, I decided to try a small restaurant I found while walking around Arashiyama. They served kaiseki, a traditional multi-course Japanese meal. Each dish was small but beautifully arranged, like a piece of art. I had pickled vegetables, grilled fish, a clear soup, and some rice. It was a wonderful experience to taste so many different flavors in one meal. In the afternoon, I went to the Kiyomizu-dera Temple, another famous site in Kyoto. The temple is on a hill, and the walk-up was full of little shops selling souvenirs, sweets, and snacks. I couldn't resist trying some mochi, a soft and chewy rice cake filled with sweet red bean paste. It was delicious. When I finally reached the temple, the view took my breath away. The temple has a large wooden stage that juts out over the hillside, offering a panoramic view of Kyoto. I learned that Kiyomizu-dera was built without a single nail, which is quite amazing. I spent some time just sitting on the wooden stage, enjoying the view and the cool breeze. Later, I explored the old streets around the temple, which are lined with traditional wooden houses and tea shops. I stopped by a tea shop to try some matcha, a powdered green tea that is a specialty in Kyoto. The tea was slightly bitter but very refreshing, especially with a sweet wagashi that was served with it. I also bought a few small souvenirs to take back home, like a handmade fan and some pretty postcards. On my last morning in Kyoto, I visited Nijo Castle, an old castle built in the 1600s for the shogun, the military ruler of Japan. The castle has beautiful rooms with painted sliding doors and a special type of floor called nightingale floors that make a chirping sound when you walk on them. This was to prevent intruders from sneaking around. I walked slowly, listening to the floors sing beneath my feet, imagining what it must have been like to live in such a grand place. After exploring the castle and its lovely gardens, I took a train to Osaka. The train ride was fast and comfortable, and I enjoyed watching the scenery change from the peaceful countryside to the busy city streets. Osaka is very different from Kyoto. While Kyoto is quiet and full of history, Osaka is lively and modern, known for its street food and shopping. When I arrived in Osaka, I checked into my hotel, which was in the heart of the city. My room was modern and stylish, with a big window overlooking the busy streets below. After settling in, I decided to explore the city. My first stop in Osaka was Osaka Castle, a famous landmark with a history dating back to the 16th century. The castle is surrounded by a large park and a moat filled with water. The main tower is very tall and has a green roof with golden ornaments. I walked around the park, which was filled with families, couples, and tourists enjoying the sunny day. I saw many people having picnics under the cherry blossom trees, even though it wasn't cherry blossom season. The castle grounds are a popular spot for people to relax and enjoy nature. I climbed to the top of the castle tower, which is now a museum, and learned about the history of the castle and its role in Japan's past. The view from the top was amazing. I could see all of Osaka. After exploring the castle, I walked to Shinsaibashi Suji, a long shopping street with many shops selling clothes, accessories, and souvenirs. It was very crowded, but I enjoyed looking at all the different stores and people watching. I even bought a cute keychain shaped like a sushi roll. I was getting hungry, so I decided to try some street food. Osaka is famous for its street food, and I wanted to try as many things as I could. I started with takoyaki, small round balls made of batter with pieces of octopus inside. They were hot and soft, with a little bit of a chewy texture. Next, I tried okonomiyaki, a savory pancake made with cabbage, meat, and topped with a special sauce and mayonnaise. It was cooked on a big griddle right in front of me, and it smelled so good. I also tried some kushikatsu, which are deep-fried skewers of meat and vegetables. Everything was delicious, and I was so full by the end of the day. In the evening, I went to Dotonbori, a famous entertainment district known for its bright neon lights, big signs, and busy streets. The area was filled with people enjoying the night, and there were so many things to see and do. I took a photo in front of the Glico Man sign, a famous symbol of Osaka, and watched the big crab sign move its legs up and down. I walked along the river and decided to take a boat ride to see the lights from the water. The view was beautiful, with all the colorful lights reflecting in the river. I felt like I was in a different world, full of energy and excitement. The next day, I visited Universal Studios Japan, a popular theme park in Osaka. I was very excited because I love theme parks, and this one is famous for its fun rides and shows. I headed straight to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, which was just like stepping into the books and movies. I saw Hogwarts Castle, drank butterbeer, and even got to choose a magic wand at Ollivander's. The wand shop was so detailed, and I felt like a real wizard. I went on the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey ride, which made me feel like I was flying on a broomstick through Hogwarts and over the castle grounds. It was so much fun and a little bit scary. After that, I explored the rest of the park, going on roller coasters and watching shows. I even tried some more Japanese snacks, like melon pan, a sweet bread with a crispy cookie-like top, and yakisoba, fried noodles with vegetables and meat. In the afternoon, I took a break and sat down to rest. I met a nice family from Taiwan, and we started chatting. They were also enjoying their trip to Japan, and we talked about our favorite places. It was nice to make new friends, and we even exchanged contact information to keep in touch. After spending the whole day at the theme park, I decided to visit the Umeda Sky Building in the evening. This building has a unique shape, like two towers connected at the top with a floating garden observatory. I took an elevator to the top and walked up to the observatory, where I could see all of Osaka at night. The city lights were sparkling like stars, and I felt so small looking down at the busy streets below. It was a perfect way to end the day, feeling on top of the world and so grateful for the wonderful experiences I had. On my last day in Osaka, I decided to take it easy and explore some of the quieter parts of the city. I visited the Osaka Aquarium Kyokan, which is one of the largest aquariums in the world. I love marine animals, so I was very excited to see all the different sea creatures. The aquarium has a huge tank in the middle where I saw a giant whale shark swimming gracefully. There were also many colorful fish, playful sea otters, and even some cute penguins. I spent hours walking around, watching the animals and learning about them. It was very relaxing and fun. For lunch, I went to a small sushi restaurant near the aquarium. I sat at the counter and watched the chef prepare the sushi right in front of me. The fish was so fresh, and the sushi melted in my mouth. I tried different kinds of sushi, like tuna, salmon, and eel. It was the best sushi I had ever tasted. In the afternoon, I took a stroll in Nakanoshima Park, a peaceful park in the middle of the city. The park is on a small island between two rivers, and it has beautiful rose gardens, walking paths, and places to sit and relax. I found a nice spot by the river and just sat there for a while, watching the boats go by and enjoying the calm atmosphere. It was a perfect way to unwind and reflect on my trip. My trip to Kyoto and Osaka was an incredible adventure filled with beauty, excitement, and delicious food. I discovered so many wonderful places, met friendly people, and made unforgettable memories. Traveling alone was a bit scary at first, but it turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made. I learned a lot about myself and about the rich culture of Japan. If you ever get the chance to visit Kyoto and Osaka, I highly recommend it. These cities have something for everyone, whether you love history, nature, food, or just exploring new places. Thank you for reading about my adventure. I hope you enjoyed it and that it inspires you to have your own adventure one day. Happy travels!